Hello. I decided to do my comfort watches. Can I talk about them an awful lot? I have a lot of them. Um, Honestly, most of my film collection could be considered comfort watches. So like all of them could be on this list for like a few, but these are like the ones that honestly like I've I when I think of comfort films, these are the ones that come to mind more than any others. Um, because I have been going through it like with my mental health and my overall health. Like I've been sick for off and on, like with a cold or whatever for or the flu um, for a couple weeks now, and then my mental health has been bad. So, yeah, it's been going through it. So I thought that this would be the perfect time to do this. Um, and on, ironically enough, I'm not really gonna watch any of these today because I haven't been in the mood to watch anything. That's how bad it's been. But so yeah, I'm just gonna get started. Yeah, Wizard of Oz, which I always like. This film I mention a lot is like I could watch it. I should probably watch it today because of the mood I'm in today. But I'm not going to because again I don't feel like watching anything today. It's not on streaming, I guess, because I've been watching Vampire Diaries. I'm on season 4, almost season 5, and it's fine. It's fine. It's a fine show. Um, but I don't really feel like having to get up and put in a movie today. Um, but yeah, so Wizard of Oz as again, this is my all time comfort film. It is like I don't know, just pure and fun, and the characters are wonderful. And I love found family movies, and this is the found family movie with Dorothy and the Scarecrow and the Lion and Tin Man. And I think maybe subconsciously, like I watched this when I was younger, when I was little, and I've always loved it. And I love found family stories now. And I think maybe this kind of started that without me realizing it because that's always been something I gravitate towards, even when I was growing up, with like movies where like the friends become like close and they become like a family unit. And this one definitely has that kind of feel. I mean, she has a family, but she has Auntie Emma and Uncle Henry. But you know, I always love this movie. It is again, it's so pure, and yeah. Okay, and then my second comfort watch this movie used to actually be my number one favorite, my most comfort watch. You know, it used to be number one, but it's Home and Holiday. No, no, I was watching Wizard of Oz like Willy took it over because there was a time where I was watching Wizard of Oz like weekly because I was like going through stuff and I was like, oh, I guess Wizard of Oz is actually my all-time favorite comfort movie. But on a holiday, it's another one that is pure and fun and sweet and funny, and a lot of people think it's sad. I guess the end. I don't. I don't think it's sad at all. Um, I I just think the chemistry between Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn was amazing. Again, it's another like found, not only a found family. It's just like uh, Audrey Hepburn, Gregory Peck, and Albert. Oh my God, I know his name. Eddie Albert form this like little bond, and I love it. I love that little friendship between the three of them. Um, and it's again, it's funny and it's sweet, and obviously watch it. Um, okay, and then we have The Little Mermaid. This is my third favorite comfort film. This is my favorite Disney movie. The songs, everything about it is just so calming to me. Um, I know this film gets a lot of shit because they're like, oh, she gave up her life for a man. She wanted to be human before she knew who he was. Let me just stop with the whole like the only reason she wanted to be human was for him. She wanted to be human before she knew him. That was always her dream to be human before him. He was just like the added bonus to it all, but she did want to be human before him. And she saved his life, and she was a strong, independent girl. Okay, let's just calm it. Let's just, I'm tired of the discourse around this movie. Um, but it's so, again, it's so much fun. It is so easy to watch. And again, I love Ariel. She's my favorite Disney princess of all time. Um, yeah, love it. Um, okay, those are my top three, and now I don't know what the order is. I don't think there is one anymore. Let me just see here. If there is, oh, I know what it is. Totoro. Um, Totoro is. Oh, I love Totoro. Oh, I have a little Totoro. Is it around here somewhere? Yes, Totoro. I love Totoro. This is an obviously like a childhood favorite. This is the don't watch the one that has Dakota Fanning and Elle Fanning voicing the characters. Don't watch that one. That one is not good. I have it on Blu-ray, and that is the version that's the on Blu-ray are the voices of Elle Fanning and Dakota Fanning. Do not watch that one. It's not good. It's not good. The voices on that one, like the it's just not good. It is like they keep and they pronounce characters' names wrong and weirdly, and so yeah, don't watch that version. Um, I don't even know what version this is to be honest, but this I guess this is the version that I have. Yeah, so it's a very sweet movie. And another thing that I've realized about myself is like I watched a lot of movies about kids who are like lonely and had to grow up kind of fast. Um, because I guess I related to that a little bit too much, but yeah, I love Satsuki. I relate to her so much, not to the extent of what she was going through, but like maturing quickly and like kind of being overly responsible at a young age. I I relate to her in that regard so much. And there's a scene in this film that hits so hard and so differently when you're an adult than when you're a child because when I watched this and I was a kid, I actually thought Satsuki was annoying, and I feel so bad because she was she was literally the glue holding the whole family together, and she was like 12 years old, I think. Um, but there's a scene where um, well, May. The story is that her dad, their dad, and then Satsuki, and then May. Their mom's in the hospital. They don't say what she's sick with, but she's in the hospital, and oh my god, I completely lost my chain of thought there. Like I said, I'm going through it, so oh, so yeah, so their mom's in the hospital, and so and Tatsuki and May's dad is working at home for like the first day that they moved to this new home to be near their mom's hospital. And then the next day, their dad has to go into work, so May has to stay with this older lady they call Granny. That's their name. That they just adopted as like their grandmother because she's a nice old lady, and she loves them very much. And So Satsuki's at school, and she looked out the window and she sees Granny and she sees May out there, and she runs out to them, and Granny says that May wanted to be with Satsuki, and Satsuki is trying to tell May, like, I have to be at school, I can't watch you. And May will not leave won't leave because she wants to be with her sister. And this scene is so like, it's a lot because the look on Tatsuki's face is just like defeat, and you can tell like she is so tired. Cause before that, she's in her classroom and she's happy and she's laughing with her friends. And she's having like a good day. She's having a really good day, and then that happens, and you realize that her being at school was like the only escape that she had, and the only time that she had just for herself. Um, and of course, May's like 4 years old, so she doesn't understand the stress that her sister is constantly feeling and constantly like having to take care of her and her dad and like everybody else. Um, and so yeah, like that scene, like just thinking about it, I'm like, oh my god. But this doesn't sound like a comfort watch after hearing that. But just like Totoro as a character is just so like, I want a Totoro, in real life. He is the sweetest. He's so cute, and yeah. So another comfort watch. Let's see. There's some I don't have because again, I have a lot of mostly comfort watches. So, I'm trying to think if I have any that I was gonna mention, but I forgot to mention. I don't know. Maybe they'll come to me eventually. Okay, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Again, now we're not in any order. This is just the rest of them. I have one that came in my head. Okay, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory it's a creepy movie. I can acknowledge that as an adult. It's kind of creepy. He's kind of weird, but I think it's hilarious, and I think it's wholesome. And I love Gene Wilder, and I love Willy Wonka, and the songs, everything is great about this movie. So yeah, another comfort watch. I just remember Super by the Dozen was Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt. The first and second movies. Those are like so comforting to watch. Those kids are out insane and wild and crazy, but it's so. I love that family so much. Like one of my all-time favorite film families. They're just like they're the dream. They're their dream family. To be honest with you, but yeah. So she probably doesn't. Almost forgot about that. Okay, funny face. I always say this when I talk about it, but this film I feel like is like the easiest film to watch ever. There's like very little drama in it. I mean, it's like drama, but like the end result, so it's not like too much. You're like, it's a musical, not it's a musical movie. The drama has to be like as minimal as possible in order for people to be enjoying the musical. But it is, oh my god. When I first watched this movie, I didn't like it at all, and now obviously that's changed, and I want it to be on the big screen so badly. This is one I really want to see on the big screen. Again, it's wholesome and fun, and yes. And I just realized I forgot a movie that I was gonna bring down here. I just completely forgot. My Fair Lady. After on Audrey Hepburn, might as well talk about Audrey. My Fair Lady. I completely forgot about it. I thought I got it and I didn't. But My Fair Lady is long. It's very long, but it's a movie I've seen on the big screen twice. Um, they put it back on the big screen. I'm gonna watch it on the big screen. Um, that film is so funny. It's my favorite Audrey movie. It is. I think it's so funny, and like I think Audrey honestly was the funniest. I said that with Charade. I said that I thought that this was her funniest performance, and it is like I think her second. Now that I think about it, I think her performance in My Fair Lady was a lot funnier. Just because I think her humor in My Fair Lady was like not like her humor in that I felt like was a little bit more bold. I don't know. Like I think with a lot of her comedy it's like it's funny, but it's not like hilarious. I'm not like dying laughing when she says something in a movie. Charade, I laugh a lot at what her a lot of her lines, but My Fair Lady literally makes me laugh out loud, especially the horse race scene. That whole scene is my favorite scene in the entire movie and one of my all-time favorite scenes ever just because of how she's talking in this like posh accent, like very kind of be so like proper, and she's talking about her aunt was murdered for a hat pin, and I just think that's a brilliant performance personally. So while I think her performance in Charade is hilarious, I think her performance in My Fair Lady is actually the funniest because that I laugh so much watching that movie, watching My Fair Lady. Like it is, she was a gem. Now, from that back, now we're gonna talk about Charade. Ha ha. This is another one that again I just said is so funny. Like I generally laugh out loud watching this movie because she was so funny. Like her and Cary Grant, just like their chemistry was so good. And one of my favorite lines in this movie is uh, what is she? She says, I already have an awful lot of friends, and until one of them dies, I cannot possibly meet anyone else. And that's, I love it. When I first watched this movie, that line killed me, and every time I watch it, it kills me. Like, I just think it was such a great delivery, and so, like, I love it so much. Um, so yes, and I love this scene when Carrie and Audrey are eating dinner on the boat, and he says to her, "You should see your face," and she goes, "What's wrong with it?" And he says, "It's so lovely." Oh my god, like Carrie and Audrey. I'm so glad they worked together because they wanted to work together for so long, and they just didn't. They're didn't align. It never aligned, and then they get the charade, and I'm like, yes. And Carrie wanted to do another movie with her, and obviously it didn't happen. But oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Funnily enough, there's a My Fair Lady reference in this movie when he takes her up to her apartment on the elevator, and he goes, "Well, here we are," and she goes, "Where?" And he goes, "The street where you live." That was we love that. We love a reference. Um, okay, that's to go on like a the little thing. Cary Grant was supposed to be in My Fair Lady, which I'm glad he wasn't because Rick Harrison is Henry Higgins. Like nobody else could do it, and I don't see Cary Grant being a Henry Higgins kind of character. But he wanted him to be Henry Higgins. But at the time, Audrey I guess he heard that she was going to audition for Houseboat, which he did with Sophia Loren. I think there's like, was it Father Goose or Houseboat? I don't remember. I forget. Either it was Houseboat or Father Goose. But any case, he heard Audrey was auditioning or was up for the lead in one of those movies, and so Carrie turned down the role of Henry Higgins because he wanted to work with Audrey in one of those films. I forget which one now. And Audrey quit one of those films because she heard that Carrie was going to be and doing My Fair Lady, and she wanted to work with him in My Fair Lady. So it was just like, you know, they could have worked together in My Fair Lady. What I'm saying, what I'm trying to say. That it was just like it's kind of a funny story, you know. They're like, well, I want to work with her, so I'm going to quit this movie to do this movie. And she goes, well, I want to quit this movie to do this movie with him. And then but I think, like I said, Henry Hagan was played by the right person in the end. But so they could have worked together again before this movie was made. But they didn't. But again, I just think amazing duo. Do I continue with the Audrey theme? Because I have one more Audrey movie. Why the hell not? Two for the. I think people wouldn't consider this a comfort watch because it's kind of like too real of a movie. About this couple that's like going through like all the ups and downs of a marriage, and they show like flashback and fast forwards and like all this stuff, and there's a lot of fighting in this movie. There's a lot of tough things in this movie, but I think that it's sweet underneath it all, and I think it's funny, and I love the chemistry between Albert Finney and Audrey Hepburn, and I think the scenery is gorgeous. I just think 10 out of 10 movie. Is it extremely comforting of a movie? No, it's not. It's not like a light and fluffy movie, but I still think it's a pretty easy watch. So if you want to watch it, go ahead. When I first watched it, I did not like it. So if you watch it and you don't like it, maybe give it a try again eventually. But yeah, this movie had to grow on me, and now I love it with all my heart. Let's see. What else? Okay. Let's see. Ghost and the Pussycats. This movie taught me the dangers of advertisement. This film came out when I was in junior high. I was like, I think 8th grade. I don't remember. I think what is math? I think I was in 8th grade, and I saw it, and it like completely changed my viewpoint on so many things, and how it's easy to get in people's heads, and it's easy to manipulate people, and you wouldn't think like a movie like this would have like any real message, and this movie definitely bangs you over the head with it. And if you really want to learn something, you need to actually like take in what they're saying. And the thing is that this movie had a lot of like kind of a distraction of a movie, because they have like all these like out there characters, and they have all these like funny and quirky little things going on. But if you pay attention, you realize, oh, there's a lot of like mind control going on in the background, or like, and I think that's purposely done to be like, we're so distracted in general as a society that we're not paying attention to things that as much as we should be. And honestly, I think it's like perfect movie, and it's a comfort watch because it's a childhood favorite. And yes, it's funny, and it's just fun to watch. Then we have Tangled, another pure movie. This movie is just beautiful and sweet, and yeah. So I'm gonna say about that. It's just one of the greatest movies ever made. Um, and then the Princess Diaries. The Princess Diaries 2, I'm not like a super fan of. The first one, I am. Again, it's just like sweet and fun and lighthearted and not one that you need to like just stressing out watching. It's so I can't. I just realized I forgot Winnie the Pooh. How did I forget Winnie the Pooh? Oh my god. Okay. I am so glad that I looked on my shelf and I was like, oh, I forgot that movie. Okay, Winnie the Pooh. Oh my god. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I don't think I need to say much more than that title for you to know why it's a comfort watch. That movie is like obviously it's Winnie the Pooh. Like it's childhood, it's sweet and chill and just like fun to watch. So yes, I'm so glad I remembered Winnie the Pooh. Okay, National Velvet. Oh my god, this movie makes me like all of them make me happy because I comfort watches. This is so happy. It has Elizabeth Taylor, Mickey Rooney, and it has Angela Lansbury, and I love the family in this movie a lot. It has a 12-year-old Elizabeth Taylor, Angela Lansbury is 18 years old. It's just like this little sweet film. Um, there's like obviously there's some like drama in it, but it's over pretty quickly, and the lessons in this movie are wonderful, and yeah, this it's so good. If you want a nice, wholesome family film, this is the one for you. um, this is a weird one. I acknowledge that this one is probably not a comfort watch, but My Best Friend's Wedding. Um, I think it is because that's one I've grown up. I grew up with, and I watched it when I was like I don't know 11. I believe I first watched it when I was in junior high, so I was like, and I think I was maybe 12, probably like 12 or 13. One of like no, I was younger than that. I think I was like 12 years old. And I watched this for the first time ever, and I was obsessed. I've seen it so much, and I think it's not really like the plot. It's just watching it because I love it so much and I know it so well. And maybe if you watch it for the first time, you won't think it's comforting because it's kind of stressful some parts, but and I think it's just funny, and I love the chemistry, friendship between Julia Roberts and what's his face, Rupert Everett's characters. I haven't actually watched this in a while, and I need to rewatch it because I used to watch it all the time. But yeah, it has I can acknowledge that this is probably like not comforting as a movie, but as an experience for me, it is because again I know what happens. So I'm not watching it like stressed out. I'm just like, oh, I love watching this movie. It's so much fun. So yeah, great movie though. And then we have Nathan Celestine. This um, I used to cry at the end of this movie. I don't anymore. I still think it's a wonderful ending. It's a beautiful ending. And it's a wonderful story, and it's so sweet. We watched it after not seeing it for a while, like last month, I believe, and it's still one of my all-time favorite movies. Um, the friendship that develops between Ernest and Celestine again is just so cute and it's so wholesome, and yes. I love Celestine so much. I love Ernest, but I love Celestine a lot, and she's one of my all-time favorite movie characters. So love it very much. Another one that's not really not really comforting, but again, for me, it's like for me it is because and the reason I call it some movies I like you watch Tangled and you're like, yeah, that's a comfort watch for sure. This one, you're gonna be like, no, I don't buy it as a comfort movie, but it is for me. Like I said with my best friend's wedding, I have seen this movie a billion times, so I know how it's gonna all turn out in the end, and so for me, I'm watching it because I love it so much, and me loving it is the comfort watch part to me. It's like when I'm watching it and I'm loving it because I know it so well and I know how it ends, so I'm not like sitting there like, oh my god, this is too much. Just like I know the ending, I know how it all works out. So for me, I watch it and I'm like, it's so nice to watch this movie and love it so much. And that's the comfort part of the movie to me is that I love it so much and I'm watching it again, you know? So yeah, and it's beautiful. It's beautifully shot and acted and all that. But I feel like wanting like a wholesome movie, this isn't gonna be that for you. Um, let's see. What am I missing? I'm missing one movie. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Mermaids. Another one that's not like a completely wholesome comfort watch, but it is a lot of comfort watches for me. Like I watch like my Little Mermaid, and I'll watch Tangled, and I'll watch Totoro and Wizard of Oz, like movies that have like no real issues. I mean, I know Wizard of Oz has the Wicked Witch, but it's a kids movie, really, in the end of it all. So it's like it is a wholesome movie, and so people would be like, "Oh yeah, that's a wholesome movie. That's fine." Then there's Mermaids. That's like it's chaotic, okay? It's a chaotic movie about a chaotic family unit, but it's the acting is wonderful. The relationships in this movie are great and fun and real and just like I don't even know why it's a comfort watch. Somebody else on Twitter that I follow, she said she watched it for the first time last year, and that's not on her. Now it's on her comfort watch list, and I was actually very surprised because like I thought I was the only one that thought this was a comfort watch, a comfort movie, and now I feel validated in my opinions about that. Because honestly, I've seen this movie so many times, and I consider it a comfort watch. But again, if someone were to watch it and be like, "This isn't that comforting," I would understand. But yeah, I just I love the ending too. Like the ending, I think the whole movie is a comfort watch, but the end scene is like so sweet and wholesome, and it makes me so happy every single time I get to the end of the film. But yeah, we love this movie. It's so chaotic. I hate to say that. It's very chaotic, but it just brings me so much joy. Oh, and then practical magic. I used to have it like laying around, and now I don't know where it is. Like now that I so whatever. But a practical magic is one that I saw when I was a kid. I didn't really understand it too much. I don't think I liked it, and then I watched it again like last year for the first time in years, and now I was obsessed with it. So practical magic, another wholesome movie that I recommend. Again, it's not completely wholesome, but I love the aunt's house so much, and I love the relationship between the sisters and the aunts. Like that is the wholesome part for me. But like there's a lot that's not wholesome. Um, and then the Adams Family movies. again, they're just easy to watch and they're chill and they're fun. Um, I was thinking of Lace, another one, just like pretty chill. Nothing too extreme happened in that movie. What else? I don't think there's more before I do my last few. Coraline, I think a lot of people wouldn't consider that a comfort watch, but I do. To me, if it's animated, I consider it pretty much a comfort watch, even if it's like not fully wholesome. I was gonna bring White Christmas into this, but it's a Christmas movie, but still, it's a comfort watch. Um, for me, during Christmas time at least, it's my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Um, okay, on the Little Woman from 1994, I believe. 1994, none of the writers, Little Woman. That one is also gets kind of difficult, but the whole thing of the movie is wholesome. The family, I love the March family so much. So, yeah. Now we're down to my last few. Okay, Grease. I haven't actually watched Grease in a long time, and I think the thing is that a lot of these movies I would have on a loop for quite a while, and I guess at some point I just burnt myself out on them. But Grease is such a fun movie. Obviously, I don't really need to go back into it too much. I think people know Grease, and I love their music. I don't like Sandy and Danny as a couple at all. Not even a little bit, but I love Summer Nights, my favorite song from the movie. Um, yeah, but it's just a easy watch. Not nothing. I mean, I don't know. But I was gonna say something really bad happened, but that is not true at all. But this movie is just fun. Okay, Cotton Mod. This is another one that's weird to I think recommend. The only reason I feel comfortable recommending it now, I used to not consider it. I would never recommend this before because I thought no one's gonna think it's comfort watch. But one of my friends on Twitter, she made a comfort watch list on Letterboxd, and this was on it, and so I felt validated in my I was gonna put. I made my own comfort list. I was gonna put this on there, and I was like, nah. And then I saw her list, and it was on there, and I was like, okay, well, I guess it could be a comfort watch. Um, there are parts in this movie that are not at all comforting, and that is why I hesitated to put it on my list. But then at the same time, it's my list, so this is my personal taste. But I think the reason I'm like, should I put this on the list is because I want to actually recommend films that if you're like struggling, you're watching, be like, oh, this is easy to watch, this is wholesome, this is like a really good time. And this isn't one of this is a movie you can watch and be like put you in a good headspace and a good mindset and all that. But at the same time, it's a very dark comedy, and if you can see the picture on the front, yeah, it's like the subject matter might not be comforting, but I think the relationship between Harold and Maude is really sweet, and it is one of my favorite um, on-screen pairings of all time. So there you go. And Harry Met Sally. This is funny. It is sweet. It is real. The chemistry between Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan is great. This one doesn't really have a lot of high stakes in it. It's a romantic comedy, so you know the end result is going to be. So there's really nothing in this that is stressful at all. So yeah, great. movie. I have on my last two. Meet Me in St. Louis is kind of a Christmas movie, but it has like all the holidays in it, pretty much. Not all of them. It has Halloween, and it has Christmas. And it has, I think that's it. So I'll just get all the holidays. It has all the seasons in it. What I should have said, but yeah. Maybe in St. Louis again, wholesome, fun. Nothing dramatic happens. It is just the family's wonderful. Yes, and it has the song. It has a My Little Christmas. The Charlie song is addicting. The Charlie song gets into my head every time I watch this movie, and it takes a while to get it out. But this is just again, it's wholesome, fun, and I highly obviously recommend this movie. So yeah. And then my last movie is Hansel and Gretel. This was my favorite movie when I was 4 years old. Um, I was completely obsessed with it. We would went to there was a movie rental store right next to my house, pretty much when I was little, and we would go there a lot. My mom and my brother and I, and saw the VHS for this. The VHS cover was uh, was really pretty, and I loved it. And that is the reason I pretty much wanted to watch it because of the cover of the VHS. And I don't know, like I always think that you get things in life, like you discover movies or TV shows or an actor or actress or whatever it is at the right time. Um, and I feel like out of all the movies I could watch, it was this one for like I believe like one of my first watches as not like yeah, I was four, but it was one I decided to watch. It wasn't chosen for me. I went to it and I picked it up and I wanted to watch it. Um, and this film again was my favorite movie when I was four. I would rent it all the time. Um, I don't think we ever owned it VHS. Maybe we did. I don't remember. But and then like a few years ago, I didn't know it was on DVD, but a few years ago, I found it on Amazon, and I was like, oh my god! And my mom bought it for me, and I been watching it I watch it in October, and I watch it in December every single year. Because Halloween, I watch it in October because there's a witch in it, and then I watch it in December because it's a gingerbread house. So in my mind, that makes it a Halloween movie, and it makes it a Christmas movie. And I know it doesn't. I know that that doesn't qualify for a Halloween or a Christmas movie, but in my mind, it does. So I watch it um, in October, and I watch it in December for that those reasons. And yeah. Um, I always think that this film shaped the movies and stuff that I love today. And I didn't really think about that until I was like thinking of like I'm talking about Totoro and like Satsuki and how she like grew up too quickly, you know. She had to. Um and then I'm thinking about Matilda, which isn't on this list, and I guess it could have been, but I don't really consider that a comfort watch because. But I guess that I mean I guess I could be, but and then I think of Matilda and how I relate to her so much because she learned how to read when she was very young, and she is the reason I went to a library card when I was a child, and I read so much because of Matilda. But and I realized like gravitated towards like kids like Matilda and Tatsuki in movies that are like kind of lonely people, but they're like they find their own like happiness in their lives, you know. Um, Griddle's not lonely. She's not. She has a brother who she's close to. She has her parents. Her mom is kind of stressed, going through stuff, so she's not being the most loving of a mother, but she loves her kids. Um, so it's not like she's neglected or she's like lonely or anything. But the thing with Gretel is that because this is like my first like movie that I maybe could have got to get to been like affected by. Um, and I watched this a lot when I was 4 or 5 years old, maybe probably older as well. But I think Gretel was my first introduction to like a strong female character because I was watching this with one of my friends a few years ago, and she was like commenting the same thing that I was thinking. Like, Gretel's doing so much at a young age to make sure that her brother safe is safe and good while they're kidnapped, and she like does everything she's supposed to do, and she doesn't whine. She doesn't cry. She's not scared. She's very brave, and she's doing things to help her brother stay alive, basically. Which is why it doesn't sound like it. Oh, it's a comfort watch, but you don't have to in Gretel. You know how it all is, so it's fine. But I just thought she was so brave, and I thought she was so strong. And I think she was like 8 years old. I don't know how old she was supposed to be, but and I think this really shaped who I am and who like the movies that I watch now and the characters that I love now, like female characters that I love and I'm like, oh, they're so like capable. And I think Gretel was like the introduction to me loving female characters that were like driven and strong and like was brave. And I know like there's gonna be some dumb person that's gonna like would watch this now and be like, oh my god, she doesn't fight back, whatever. She was like a child, and her brother was like in danger, so she needed to like be strong in that moment and kind of do what she had to do to survive and to make sure her brother survived. And she was so brave. She was just so brave, and she was like, I love Gretel so much because in the beginning, you know, she's obviously like this carefree child with imagination, and she plays all. She's like wanting to play all the time, and she's like a typical child. And then this happens, and she like literally like steps up so effortlessly. I mean, no, she's technically kind of under a spell by the witch because you know she's having to want her under her control. But even then, she's like so effing strong. She is so like I love her. I just love Gretel so much. Um, and it has Chloe Between as a witch, and so yeah, those are my comfort watches. Some that are a little more comforting than others. Oh, Kiki's Delivery Service. Almost forgot about that. That's honorable mention. Kiki's Delivery Service. Um, Harvey with Jimmy Stewart. I see it up there, and I'm like, oh yeah, Harvey. Um, um, let's see. I'm looking at my Kid Ashley movies. Yeah, definitely. Those are easy as can be to watch. And then Runaway Bride, and then because again I have like so many movies that are comfort movies. Um, then Fine Day with George Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer. Big Daddy with Cole and Dylan Sprouse. Totally forgot. This is not a comfort watch. I understand. Don't kill me. My the 5 feet apart with Cole Sprouse. Um, that one is on my comfort list, and it shouldn't be. Like, I acknowledge it probably shouldn't be because it's about sick children, and it's not a comforting thing to watch. But what I find comforting about it, like I said with Golden Pond and My Best Friend's Wedding, is that I've seen it so much that I know what's gonna happen. So it's just like I enjoy watching it, and that's the comfort watch part to me. It's not the actual like content of it. It's not like I'm watching it being like these kids are sick and that's fun to watch. It's just I know it so well, and that's the comforting part. You know? Okay. um hmm. I think that's it. I think that's it. Um so that is all. Goodbye.